Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Jinjira Online Class School. Today I will discuss about the grammar of transformation of sentence. It's very important topics. It's contain 10 marks in the SSC exam for class 9 and 10. Let's start our class. Welcome to all dear students. Sentence. According to structure, sentence is three kinds. We all know, according to structure, three kinds of sentences: simple sentence, complex sentence, and compound sentence. The next slide. Today's topic is transformation of sentence. First, we have to know about coordinating conjunction. Coordinating conjunction such as what, where, wherever, why, how, who, when, as like 39. Total number 39. Coordinator. Acronym আমরা সহজে মনে রাখার জন্য fanboys. That means F for A for and, N for nor, B for but, O for or, Y for yet, S for so or still. Beside this, there are more coordinator. Therefore, otherwise, semicolon, either or not, either or, একটু বলেছে either or, neither nor. Total 13. Complex sentence subordinating conjunction ব্যবহার করি. We use subordinating conjunction in complex sentences, and we use coordinator in compound sentences. Simple sentence. Only one principal clause, one subject, one finite verb. Complex sentence. Independent clause plus connector plus dependent clause. Complex sentence. Dependent clause plus connector plus independent clause. And compound sentence. Independent clause plus connector plus independent clause. Independent clause not to be changed. Third, simple sentence, one subject and one finite verb, and has complete thought. Complex sentence, one subordinate clause, one dependent clause and another independent clause. That means principal clause. Compound sentence, minimum two independent sentence added with coordinator. Complex sentence added with subordinator. Simple sentence, only one principal clause. That means one subject and one finite verb. Finite verb, that means tense wise it would be changed. Complex sentence. Independent clause or principal clause, then connector, that means subordinator, and dependent clause, that means subordinating clause. Independent clause is not to be changed and dependent clause is to be changed, or dependent clause plus subordinator or connector plus independent clause. That means one independent clause, then dependent clause, or dependent clause, then independent clause. Compound sentence. To sentence is independent clause or principal clause. Independent clause, then connector or subordinator, then independent clause or principal clause. Independent clause or principal clause not to be changed. Next slide. Independent clause, that means IC, that means independent clause. DC, that means dependent clause. DC to be changed. Simple, one subject plus one finite verb. Complex, independent clause, subordinator, dependent clause. Compound, independent clause, coordinator, dependent clause. Now have a look some rules. Rules number 1. Simple complex compound 2.2. Simple sentence 2.2 থাকলে complex sentence 2 এর পরিবর্তে so আর next 2 এর পরিবর্তে that এর পরে subject plus can or cannot or could not বসাতে হবে। Complex sentence 2 or so এর পরিবর্তে very and comma এর পরে and। Rules number 2. Infinitive to or in order to or with a view to. Its purpose sentence is donated for purpose. Infinitive to plus verb. Complex so that or in order that. Compound, sorry এখানে complex লেখা আছে, এটা compound হবে and so that or in order that এর পরে and so। Rules number 3. Opposition, বিপরীত চিত্র প্রকাশ করে in spite of or despite। Complex though or although। Compound but or yet or still। Example. Rules 1. He is too weak to walk. He is too weak to walk. It's simple sentence. Answer. Complex. He is so in place of to, that means to এর পরিবর্তে so, he is so weak, then to, then that he cannot in place of to, then walk. Finally, he is so weak that he cannot walk. He is so weak, this is present tense, present simple tense, that means I use cannot. If first sentence, that means he is weak, this sentence is past indefinite or past tense, then we can use could not or did not. Here, he is so weak, independent clause or principal clause. He is so weak, this sentence is independent clause or principal clause. Then he cannot walk. He cannot walk. Sorry, that he cannot walk. That he cannot walk over. That he cannot walk. This sentence is dependent clause or subordinate clause. Complex. He is so weak that he cannot walk. He is so weak that he cannot walk. Compound. He is very weak. That means here I can use very in place of so, and so that, and use and so in place of that represents and so. Then he cannot walk. Here and so coordinator. He is very weak. This sentence is independent clause or principal clause. Next, he cannot walk. This sentence is also independent clause or principal clause. Now, next sentence. Next slide. Clause number 2. Example. Simple. We eat to live. Here, infinitive to. Answer. Complex. We eat so that we can live. Here, we use so that in place of to, t or to, so that it is called subordinate term. Here, we eat principal clause or independent clause. So that we can live. This is dependent clause or subordinate clause. Okay? Hope all understand my lecture. Clause number 3. Simple. Despite his being poor, he is honest. Complex. Though, we can use though despite in place of despite. Despite equal to though. Though he is poor, then comma, then he is honest. Here, though is subordinate. Compound. Sorry, এখানে though হবে না. Compound, এখানে though হবে না. He is poor. This sentence is subordinate. This sentence is principal clause. এখানে একটু ভুল আছে. Principal clause, but coordinator. He is honest. Principal clause or independent clause. Evaluation. মূল্যায়ন. আমরা now I have to evaluation. মূল্যায়ন করব. Rules number 1. As per rules number 1, the box is too heavy for me to carry. Make it complex and compound. Complex. The box is so heavy that I cannot carry it. The box is so heavy. This sentence, the box is so heavy. This sentence is principal clause and then subordinate that, then I cannot carry it. That I cannot carry it. This is dependent clause. Compound. The box is so heavy and I cannot carry it. Here, the box is so heavy. This is principal clause and coordinator, and I cannot carry it. This is principal clause. Rules number 2. We should read books to acquire knowledge. Complex and compound. Complex. We should read books that. I use that in place of infinitive to. Then we can acquire knowledge. Compound. We should read books, and that means I can use and as a coordinator in place of that. Then we can acquire knowledge. We should read books. This is principal clause, and we can acquire knowledge. This is also principal clause. Clause number 3. In spite of saving life, he was insulted. Complex, compound. Complex. Though he saved his life, he was insulted. Though, I can use though in place of in spite of. He saved his life, comma, he was insulted. Here, though he saved his life, dependent clause or subordinate clause, and he was insulted, this is principal clause. Compound. He saved his life, but he was insulted. Here, I can use but in place of though. He saved his life, but he was insulted. Here, he saved his life and he was insulted. These two sentences is same clause, that means principal clause or independent clause. Now, homework. Thank you all. Hope all are understood or all are very clear. My topics: simple, complex, compound.